coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. The international spotlight will be on Swift Current and Medicine Hat this fall, as these two communities co-host the 2019 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge.
These will be some of the future stars in the NHL.
And as the days get longer and warmer in the coming weeks, more individuals will be out enjoying the leisure of the outdoors.
Yeah, with the motoring public, we'd just like them to be aware of kids on their pedal bikes now that the warmer weather's upon us and the snow's all gone.
The Art Gallery of Swift Current features unique exhibitions throughout the year, and the latest shines the spotlight on Val Marie artist Diana Chabros. Chabros describes herself as a contemporary artist working in oil, focusing on landscapes, nature, and social consciousness. Thanks for joining us here today. 2019 is turning out to be a busy year for the city of Swift Current as it hosts numerous events. And tickets are now available for the World U17 Hockey Challenge. The international spotlight will be on Swift Current and Medicine Hat this fall, as these two communities co-host the 2019 World Under-17 Hockey Challenge. From November 2nd through November 9th, games will be played between the two host communities, with the gold medal game scheduled for Medicine Hat. In addition, numerous exhibition games yet to be announced are set for on-ice matchups at select communities across the region. Liam Chufu is the co-chair of the Swift Current Host Committee and says hockey fans will be treated to exciting action out of the gate, with the Team Canada matchup against Russia on November 2nd at the iPlex.
These will be some of the future stars in the NHL. When you look back over the past history of this tournament, over 90% of the kids that participate in this tournament end up being drafted into the NHL and have varying levels of success there. But definitely the new crop coming in, this is going to be on display for everyone here. And the nice thing about how it worked out was that there are three Team Canada teams. We're hosting Team Canada Red, and the other two Team Canadas will be here for exhibition games. So we have opportunities to see all of our young Canadian kids.
Sponsors and volunteers will also play a vital role in co-hosting this world-class event, with committees already working behind the scenes to cover these aspects.
Due to the partnership that we have with the Broncos and with minor hockey, we have been able to minimize the number of volunteers that are going to be required. And our approach is basically going to be the host committee reaching out to find two friends who will go find two friends who will go find two friends. And that's what we're looking at. Our volunteer needs, we're expecting to be between 100 and 150 people. So it's nothing like summer games. We are all self-contained within the building. The biggest challenge for us is logistics around moving the teams between Medicine Hat and Swift Current and transport and those types of things.
And along with all the other exciting events set for Swift Current in 2019, Mayor Diana Chabros says the U17 Challenge will add to the overall economic impact for the community.
You look at all of those type of spins, and it's a chance for us to fill our hotels and keep our restaurants hopping and give a chance for our retail sector to shine. It's a chance for us to really showcase our community, and the economic benefit is just icing on the cake.
Tickets for the 2019 U17 Hockey Challenge are now available for Broncos season ticket holders and minor hockey teams until May 13th, after which time early bird and regular ticket sales will open up for the general public through the stable at the iPlex. More information on the U17 Hockey Challenge and a full schedule of games are all available online. RCMP are reminding motorists and pedestrians to follow the rules of the road for everyone's safety. We find out more in this report. The roadways are meant to be safe for everyone, whether you're out for a casual walk, bike ride, or out in a motor vehicle. And as the days get longer and warmer in the coming weeks, more individuals will be out enjoying the leisure of the outdoors.
Yeah, with the motoring public, we just like them to be aware of kids on their pedal bikes. Now that the warmer weather's upon us and the snow's all gone and puddles are disappearing, we're seeing more and more kids out on their bikes. Those kids, having not maybe been out for 6 months, aren't necessarily up to speed on the way they should be riding their bicycles around parks and parked vehicles. So just as long as the public can be a little more extra aware of those potential possibilities, and as well being aware of those guys that are out on their motorcycles enjoying this warmer weather. The roads haven't been completely cleaned off yet, so riding those bikes are sometimes like riding on marbles or trying to walk on marbles. So just give them a little bit of extra distance. We always try to preach the 3-second rule when you're following a motorcycle. If you're back 3 seconds from them, that's usually a safe distance because they can move and maneuver a lot faster than a car, so that'll give the average driver the opportunity to react to anything they may do.
And if you're planning an evening walk or a bike ride, make sure you're visible to oncoming traffic.
Kids on pedal bikes, people riding motorcycles, and pedestrians that are out running or enjoying the evening walk. Wear something that's going to be reflective if you're at nighttime, or a bright color clothing during the day so that the motoring public can see you.
Pedestrians and cyclists are further reminded to always ensure it's safe to cross a street. Always make eye contact with the driver of the vehicle to ensure they've seen you and know your intention to make your way through the crosswalk.
I'm really enjoying it here. I always did like Swift Current. This is kiting paradise.
Hi, my name's Nancy Lowry. I'm an oil painter from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I primarily concentrate in landscape painting, and I am represented by Art Placement Art Gallery in Saskatoon. Mostly I work with oil. When I'm outside, I work with oil. In the winter, I do a lot of small studies in watercolor for my car because it's too cold to work outside. And I draw a lot. I'm constantly sketching. I just have a sketchbook in my pocket all the time for little studies. So sometimes I'll riff off one of those. And in my studio, I often paint very small, little 5x6 paintings. And those ones, I can do up to 10 of them in a day sometimes. And sometimes I'll continue to go back to one for 6 months and not finish it. Like, it's kind of this back and forth process. Color is a huge influence on my work. A lot of old abstract painters are huge influences on my work, and also a lot of landscape painters. And I read a lot, and I think a lot about just like dream psychology and mind spaces and different things. I do paint outside a lot, but when you're painting outside, you don't have control over like the wind, the changing of the light, the bugs, how much time you spend if a sudden storm runs in or whatever. So you have to roll with it, right? So like a lot of my things are rolling with it. Idea of many trails to me or many paths just feeds like, there's so many choices you can make in art making. And it's kind of like an endless inspiration that you can have. One thing I love about the landscape too is that trees are all so different and clouds are also different. They're constantly changing. So even if you do kind of make a mistake, you can almost like look 2 degrees to the left and find that exact branch on another tree and be like, okay, I'm just gonna maneuver that way. And I often do that. Well, I like to play with depth, and like obviously a painting is a 2-dimensional surface mostly, like depending on thickness, of course there's, but I like to see what you can push and pull with. And I always really want to work with the edges too. Like I don't want something just like a central thing in the canvas usually. I want to bring it all around. And that one I definitely did while I was in a deep woods. And so some of the things that I was trying to capture are way back there. And some of them are right close to you. So I'm always questioning and trying different ways, and I'm looking at how other artists tackle that same question. For me, the big jump when I connected with Art Placement, the commercial gallery, was, for one thing, was very validating. I had known that gallery since I was a child, and those, the people that have run that gallery are artists that I looked up to. They have work in this show. It validates you to collectors. It puts you to a new audience. They've sold work to mine to different private collections and things that I would never have had access to. Having a validating gallery that is reputed, which like both Slate and Art Placement are outside of the province. Like if you tell someone in another gallery in Toronto or Vancouver or something, that's where you show, you're already accredited to some degree.
The Art Gallery of Swift Current is once again featuring a unique exhibition, this time showcasing Val Marie artist Diana Chabros. The Art Gallery of Swift Current features unique exhibitions throughout the year, and the latest shines the spotlight on Val Marie artist Diana Chabros. Chabros describes herself as a contemporary artist working in oil, focusing on landscapes, nature, and social consciousness. A theme which is highlighted in this large-scale exhibition, now on display for Southwest Saskatchewan residents and others visiting the gallery.
This exhibition is called Samskara, Stories of Discernment. So samskara actually refers to the habits, the habitual patterns that we create with our speech and our thoughts and our behaviors. Everybody does it. Sometimes they're good patterns, often they're not. And they very often cause a lot of difficulty for us, a lot of grief and suffering. As I was looking at the land, I mean, I walk the land, I photograph, I sketch out there, I was noticing different kinds of patterns. I started thinking, there's so much roadkill. We have so many ways of living our lives that are so fast, right? And what would it take to actually reduce the amount of roadkill? Like, you know, is that a pie in the sky kind of concept? Maybe not. Maybe it requires a little bit of awareness on our part. I guess in working with that particular landscape and those animals, that we have ways of thinking of the land that are monetary now. It's a bit of a groove. We're not easily able to shake ourselves out of that and return to nature for what it is, and to really honor the land in a way that will honor our own existence.
She goes on to explain her creative process, which often starts with a series of photographs, which she then takes back to her studio and are later blended with her own imagination and actual life events, often telling a story which are close to home.
The hunt is completely a fictional landscape. It looks very much like it's the grasslands, because I sort of know it like the back of my hand in certain areas of the grasslands. And so I decided to introduce a cat into one of the pieces because I'd started hearing stories about cats in a rural landscape. What happens? Some of them are not so nice, of course, and I wanted to explore that. And in this particular case, this painting, The Hunt, I used a photograph of one of my own animals who was in real jeopardy of not surviving. As you can see, the animal doesn't look very good. Now my animal does not look like that. I took him in and I ensured that he had vet attention, and we worked together, and within 6 weeks he bounced back. Yeah. So that piece is very much exploring what happens with our emotions and attachments.
And as patrons of the Art Gallery of Swift Current view the latest exhibit by Diana Chabros, gallery officials hope the general public gains a better appreciation of art and for those who create it.
Our hope is to be able to exhibit work that I guess you'd say that the audience relates to, and especially with Diana Chabros' work here, is that there's a lot of locations. Some of it is imaginary landscapes, but a lot of it is from grasslands or the Big Muddy area, and so it's recognizable landscapes and it's recognizable buttes that other people have seen before, and then they're seeing an artistic rendering or representation of it.
Samskara, Stories of Discernment by Diana Chabros, is on exhibit at the Art Gallery of Swift Current through May 5th. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.